everybody, welcome to Caketastic Cakes. It's Jen and I'm going to show you how to make this flannel panel for a sheet cake. Okay, like always, if there's any tools or supplies you see me use that you might be able to use, if you check the link in the description below, it should be able to help you out. Alright, to make my panel, I'm starting with a 17-inch piece of red gum paste here. I guess you could use fondant on this, but I, had gum paste. So I used gum paste. So I rolled it out. It's about 3 inches tall, 17 inches long, and it's just a big red straight rectangle. Nothing special here. I rolled out some black gum paste, really nice and thin, and I was using that roller there to make just, I want to say 1/4 inch little stripes of gum paste here so you can see all my lines. I'm going to cut them up and turn them into the stripes for my plaid. Now I've measured them out, I'm cutting them out kind of in the center. It's not perfect and I don't know. I just cut them out as best I could there and I made them just nice straight cuts, divided it in half again, and I ended up with all these little now smaller pieces of black rectangles that I was going to use, and then I'm like, you know what, they're kind of fat. So what do? You cut them in half again, and that's what I'm trying to do here. My blade wasn't long enough to go all the way down the lengths that I had there, so I kind of cut them as long as I could, then I had to pull them apart and then just cut the other end trying to match it all up. So I took all those little pieces you see there and cut them in half and kind of made a mess of things, but it's okay. It all comes together in the end, right? So there you go. It's a learning curve. I took my pieces that I cut. You can see how not straight they are and not the same thickness, but it still looks okay. And I ended up doing 2 stripes, as you see, 2 double stripes across the top and the bottom. I have them spaced out kind of randomly, honestly. I just kind of was winging it as I went, but it worked out. I started putting some, vertical to my horizontal stripes. I did 3 going up and down and 2 going across. And when you put them all together, then it starts to give you more of that plaid look. I guess I could have done more lines in the center to give it more of the heavier plaid look, but I thought this looked okay. Again, it was kind of just a simple, pretty little plaid, But if you are going to decorate a sheet cake, you don't always have to go crazy with it. Something as simple as just a runner basically down the center of it with little decoration can really brighten up your cake, and it looks pretty good, I gotta say. Okay, coming along here. Now I've got my lines, and I'm going to make a bear because this was a very country cabiny kind of a cake, and they wanted a little bear in the middle. So I rolled out my black gum paste once again, nice and thin, and I just freehanded a bear on its 4 legs. I didn't have it standing, and I know that in the picture it is standing. I end up making another one. I'll show it to you. But I just freehanded it. There, if you're uncomfortable with that, you can always find a template and cut it out and do it that way. I, was comfortable enough that I figured I could freehand a bear. I didn't think it'd be too tough. And I wasn't going for super realism either, but you look at it and you think it's a bear, so winning, right? All right, and here's how I did the standing one. I just did the same thing again, rolled out my gum paste nice and thin, and just kind of freehanded it. I had it starting with a little chest and his paw kind of hanging up the front, like when a dog sits up and begs, and they put their little paws up and they bend down. Gave him 2 little feet at the bottom, and just kind of once again freehanded a head. Just give it a muzzle, little curve for the top, and this one I gave him 2 ears, and yeah, called him a bear, right? He's a standing bear. I felt like he might look a little better if I roughed up his fur a bit, gave him a little rougher look. So I'm just putting little cuts into the edge of my gum paste at an angle and lifting up just to kind of make him look a little more furry, not quite so smooth. So I don't know. I felt like the standing one was kind of lacking in something. But that's all I did. I just, freehand it. And if you're, like I said, if you're uncomfortable, you can always print something out. This is some more gum paste. I am rolling it out really thin and very long because I'm going to make cursive letters for the welcome baby words that you saw at the beginning there and also up in the corner there. So yeah, just rolled it out as thin as I could, which honestly wasn't that thin. It's kind of hard to make gum paste really thin and long because it just, like anything else you might assume, it'll break. but I did the best I can. And hey, if you can read it when you're done with it, then I consider that a success. I'm not real strong with lettering, and I don't honestly like putting lettering on cakes, but you know, what are you gonna do? Anyway, back to our plaid. I'm making the squares for the plaid now. I use my little square cutter that just coincidentally happened to fit in with my horizontal and vertical stripes. Filled them all in. There's my little stand, or I don't know, he's not laying, all fours bear. I didn't like how he looked. I felt like he didn't stand out enough, so that's why I went ahead and made the standing one, because he extends over the top and bottom. Just made it stand out better. I felt like it looked better. Now, back to my panel though, I decided to put a border around the edge of it, so I just cut out some black really long, really thin, and very carefully wrap it around. Everything is attached with a little bit of water. And I'm using gum paste because I did have to ship this to somebody, and it was going to go on the sheet cake, and I just wanted it to be nice and strong, so that's why I want the gum paste here. And once again, make sure your lines are nice and straight as can be. Put it together and there you go. Your sheet cake is going to look like 1,000 times better. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe. Check out my many other videos. And as always, thank you for watching Caketastic Cakes.